sure. Your diet, my diet, everybody's diet. It's a liquid. So with a liquid, we get a much higher absorption rate. Our average
ready to pair, paired.
Probably in the mid-60s, 70s, and I have patients in their 80s and 90s. And many of these patients are already coming in taking a handful of pills and capsules and medications. The last they want is another pill or another tablet. And the fact that it's a liquid to them is so appealing. Being a liquid, we don't have the binders and the fillers. It's easy to take, and it's highly absorbable. Now, Body Balance is also a whole food. It's in God's perfect balance. When you look at nutrition, right, remember we were always told you're best off getting your nutrition from your food, and that still holds true today. Remember, the number one rule of thumb is fork in mouth disease. You are what you eat. So if you're putting garbage in, stop putting garbage in. Stop digging your grave with your fork. Your plate is your first line of defense. You still are better off getting your best vitamins and minerals from your nutrition. But we know today that's not possible. I mean, anybody's been following this whole Monsanto Roundup debacle. Oh my gosh, scary, right? Frankenstein food. We have modern day farming practices that don't focus on, they focus on yield, not on quality. They use heavy chemical pesticides. These are all toxic. They're all getting into our food sources. And I'm telling you, it's dangerous. So the problem with this is if the chemicals that we're using cause the soil to become acidic, what do you think happens? The acidity washes away the minerals. And if the minerals aren't in the soil, they're not in the food that's being grown on the soil. And we are having really mineral deficiencies as a huge problem, and also vitamin deficiency. So it really is impossible today to get all the nutrition your body needs just from your plate alone. Even if you go all organic, even if you grow your own food, more power to you. You still need to supplement with a good quality whole food multivitamin and mineral. And I can't think of any better place to start than with the Body Balance. Body Balance is a whole food. It's made from seed vegetation, aloe vera. There's over 9 different grades of seed vegetation. Dr. Bernard Jensen talked about in his book, Empty Harvest. He had a big farm in Colorado. Talked about one of the best ways to revitalize the soil. He would spray dried seed vegetation on his farm, and it made the soil mineral rich. So seed veggies are some of the best sources of your trace minerals, your micro minerals, your macro minerals. It's also in organic aloe vera. If we want to talk about aloe has a long history behind it. Many of us remember as a little kid growing up in the 60s and the 70s, my mom had the aloe plant. You know, you cut yourself, you burn yourself, you got a bruise, you take the plant, you cut it, and you rub the aloe gel, and it heals the skin. Now, just like that plant healed the outside of the skin, think about what it does to the inside. It can heal the inside. Aloe vera is a powerful anti-inflammatory. And when we want to look at inflammation, inflammation is probably one of the biggest challenges that we face. Remember, 75% of patients or people that have heart attacks have normal cholesterol. So that kind of shoots down the cholesterol causing heart attacks. 75% of people that have heart attacks have normal cholesterol. So if it's not cholesterol, what's the problem? Inflammation is the problem. Every disease process has an inflammatory component, and that's why doing things that are anti-inflammatory pay huge dividends for your health. So with Body Balance, you get over 121 known nutrients, plus you get all the unknown nutrients. In other words, because it's a whole food, there's so many things in there that we haven't yet discovered, but they're still so important for your health. And that's really what the benefit of taking a whole food is. You get the benefits of the known and the unknown nutrition. The Body Balance needs to be refrigerated after you open it. And I always recommend people for the first 2 months start off with a loading phase. We want to saturate the body. We want to get this plane off the ground. We want to get you to wellness, cruising altitude. Most people already are dragging 1 foot in the grave. 1 to 2 ounces a day is probably enough to prevent further decline, but it's not enough to jumpstart this journey towards wellness. And that's why I ask you, for 2 months, take 4 ounces a day. First thing in the morning with food or without food. Remember, body balance is a food. Now, I don't think it's going to take 2 months to make a difference. It's my belief that everyone is going to benefit from taking the body balance, but everybody's going to experience it in their own unique way, and that's why you can experience it way more than I could ever tell you on a conference call. Take that 2-month challenge. First thing in the morning, 4 ounces a day. If you don't have a health challenge, it's going to be like week 3 or 4. It's going to be like someone turned the light switch on. If you do have a health challenge, my experience has been it's around week 5 or 6 that someone feels a liquid difference. Now, remember, the body balance, or actually any of these products we're going to talk about tonight, they're not designed to heal the body. The body can heal itself. What we're trying to do here is give your body the tools that it needs to heal itself. We're trying to put your body in position to heal itself. Think about if you ever break a bone and they put a cast on that bone. A couple of weeks later, you take the cast off. The bone's all nicely healed. You say, geez, that cast sure healed the bone. No, the cast puts your body in position so the body can heal itself. And that's really what we're talking about tonight. The body healing itself, and we're giving it the tools that it needs to heal itself. So the body balance to me is like a tree trunk. It's great for kids, great for teenagers, great for adults, great for grandparents. It's good for cradle to grave. My son, who's 10 years old, has been taking it religiously since he's 1 year old. He takes it first thing in the morning. Now, the one thing about body balance, it has a phenomenal taste. It really does taste good. If you find that you're the person who says to me, I can't stand the taste, or if you have somebody that maybe you've shared the body balance with, and they came back to you and they said, oh my gosh, I can't stand the taste. I've been using the body balance for 21 years. And although it's very rare, every so often I come across an individual who tells me they cannot stand it. It's the worst thing ever. What this is telling me is that there's something in there that their body needs, that their body's deficient in. We tend to crave foods that we're allergic to, yet we tend to reject foods that our body needs. And with these people, what I have found, if they will be patient, I tell them, hold your nose, gag it down, whatever you got to do. Just stay with it. Give me a month. What you'll find with these people is by the end of the month, they're not going to tell you, oh my gosh, this is the best thing I've ever had in my life. They're going to come back and they're going to say, you know, it's actually not bad. I can tolerate. But I got to tell you, I actually feel a difference on it. What happens, again, this is me thinking out loud, is that initially there's something in there they desperately need, and their body tends to reject it. But as we start to build up the reservoir, it starts to acclimate better with their body. And what happens, too, they start to realize the difference that it makes in how they feel. And now that belief in the product is there, there's a much greater sense of urgency to take it every day. One of the other things that I have found, I will tell you, I'm a big numbers person, right? I mean, before I started using the body balance, I had thousands of dollars worth of supplements on my shelf. There's a lot of good supplements out there. They all work for something, right? But sometimes it's easier to start a simpler approach, and this is what we started to do. Years ago, instead of sending a patient home with a garbage bag full of pills and capsules, more often than not now, I just start them with the body balance. One simple product. It's not the end-all, be-all, but it does fill in a lot of the gaps where everybody's diet falls short. And I find it's a high-impact product. For every 10 people that I get doing the 4 ounces a day, 6 or 7 of them come back to me and they tell me that they're feeling a difference. In practice, that's huge, because the first step is, how do I get somebody to take something, right? That's the first step. And then the second step is, how do I get someone to be consistent with it, to take it every day? And the more complicated something is to do, the less likely you're going to have compliance. That's why I deviated years ago, just giving them the body balance. The body balance gets this journey to wellness started. They start to feel a difference, and now they're much more open to the second suggestion. And that's really what I love doing the 4 ounces for. Now, after the 2 months is over, I tell people they can play with the amount they're taking, and they're now in tune with their body, and their body will actually tell them what they need. And to most people, between 2 to 4 ounces is probably sufficient. But I will tell you that many times, like, people will tell me, I didn't think I was feeling a difference on the body balance, so I stopped taking it. And then I didn't realize, I was about a week off of it, and then I started to realize, wow, I did feel different when I was taking it every day. For that person, it was so subtle. For some people, it's like a wow, walk on water reaction. So even those 3 or 4 out of the 10 that didn't feel it, sometimes when they go off it, a week later, they realize what a difference it was making in their health. So the body balance is the tree trunk. What would be one of the next 2 branches? Let's start with our nitric oxide product, or NO. It's called Spark. And I think the body balance and the Spark are such a dynamite combo. They go hand in hand. Now, most people will experience the body balance. However, it takes about 3 or 4 weeks. We have a good friend of ours who's a personal trainer. He's in New Jersey. He's a young guy. He's in his mid-30s, right? Young. And he's been using the Spark in his practice and with his clients as a pre-workout drink. In other words, have his clients take it a half hour before they work out. And then he started carrying our Be Full protein, because he's a big believer in organic grass-fed whey protein. But he didn't really see the body balance. And I actually got him to do the body balance. And he called me up about 3.5 weeks in. And he's like, you know what? It's 9:30 at night. I'm sitting here. I'm not drowsy. I feel great. He's like, I can't believe what a difference the body balance made. And this is the guy that works out, he eats well, does his protein, does veggies, does everything. Even for a guy like this that has an excellent diet, the body balance made a huge difference. But he's been using it in conjunction with the Spark. The body balance does take about 3 to 4 weeks for the average person to feel it. Many people can feel the Spark the very first time they take it. Now, remember, we talked about circulation and inflammation last week. We just talked about how inflammation is a problem. Now we also want to talk about circulation. Most people, as they get older, start to lose circulation. And when you combine this with inflammation, you have a recipe for disaster. Because if anyone wants an example of what lack of circulation can do, get a piece of dental floss. Wrap your finger real tight. You'll start to see it turn white. You're cutting off the blood supply. And then all of a sudden, your finger starts to throb. And that's where the lack of circulation can increase pain. And then when you unwrap that dental floss and the circulation returns to your finger, that throbbing stops, that pain goes away. When you can increase circulation and decrease inflammation, when you bring back that blood flow, remember, life is in the blood, nutrients are in the blood, the body can heal itself. So when we look at the Vital Spark is so important. We think about heart disease. Heart disease under the age of 65 is the #1 killer. The first sign of heart disease is having a heart attack. That's why we call it the silent killer. Over the age of 65, your #1 cause of death is falling. It's the injury sustained after the fall that you can't repair. Under 65, it's heart disease. Over 65, it's falling. Heart disease is the silent killer. What is nitric oxide? NO is secreted by the endothelial cells of your blood vessels. It actually increases circulation, decreases inflammation, maintains healthy blood pressure, is important for everything that requires circulation. It's so heart healthy. One of the best sources of nitric oxide is root vegetables. So anyone like beets, eat more beets. Also doing things that are exercising, they can all help your body increase its NO production. Now, the Vital Spark is our NO supplement, our nitric oxide supplement, but it's more than just nitric oxide. We use nitrox, which is the clinically tested form of nitric oxide. But we also have your full component of B vitamins. When we talk about health, when we talk about circulation, when we talk about sugar, B vitamins, when we talk about energy, B vitamins are so important. I always get asked in the office, what do you think about B12? I think it's great, but I just don't take B12 by itself. I want a full B complex. Nowhere in nature do you find B12. There's no B12 fruit, right? And so that's why I like finding the vitamin D in a whole food form. And with the Vital Spark, you get that full complex of all your B vitamins. When we talk about diabetes, metformin is a common drug for diabetes. One of the problems with metformin is it depletes the body of B complex. And that's why anybody that's a diabetic that's on metformin or any of those medications really need to make sure that they supplement their diet with good B complex. B complex is so important to your health. We have pine bark in there, grape seed extract. That's a powerful antioxidant that can help maintain the elasticity of the arteries. We have turmeric and curcumin. Turmeric and curcumin are powerful anti-inflammatories. We have vitamin D3 in there. We have other neurotropics. It's actually really like 7 products in one formula. Now, you can use it as a pre-workout formula. I do. I take it about a half hour before I go exercise. However, you can take it for wellness, too, first thing in the morning. You take 1 scoop and you mix it with about 6 to 8 ounces of water. I use room temperature. I find it mixes really well, and it's got a really good flavor. I take my Body Balance first thing in the morning, 4 ounces, and then I take my Vital Spark right after, right before I go work out. Now, to me, these are such a tremendous combination. You know, you have synergistic properties and you have additive properties. Additive is 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. That's addition. Synergy is multiplication. That's where you get 1 and 1 = 20. 1 and 1 and 1 = 30. When you use the Body Balance with the Vital Spark, you get synergy. You get that multiply, that compounding effect. Now, I'm not 100% sure, because I always buy my Body Balance by the case, but 4 quarts of Body Balance, I think, is almost like $100. The Vital Spark by itself is $80. But the company has the Spark Pack. It's 4 quarts of Body Balance, and it's 1 Vital Spark. It's only $147. You actually save about $40 by ordering this combo. I think that is such an excellent combination. Now, remember, you may be that person that needs 1 or 2 ounces a day, so you wouldn't need all 4. But I tell you, if you really want to make a difference in your health, that Spark Pack is such a great place to start with. It really does cover a lot of your bases. So if we talked about the Body Balance and we talked about the Spark, let's talk about the CBD product. Now, CBD is the hot button. It really is. This is going to be one of the fastest growing products. I'm so excited that LifeForce came out with our new product. I tell you, I've been using it, and I've been getting really good results with it. A couple things. There are so many products out there. It is the Wild West right now with CBD. And we're learning a lot of things as we go. But one of the things is, first of all, you want to make sure you get a certificate of analysis. You want to make sure that the CBD that you're using is sourced from a reliable manufacturer. With LifeForce, I have my bases covered. The other thing with ours is an isolate. They're basically full spectrum, which has a little bit of THC in there. And the first one we launched is actually a CBD isolate. The CBD isolates are a little more expensive to make, but they're actually beneficial in the fact that everyone can take them. My brother-in-law is a captain for United. He's been flying forever. He just sent a company email. All the airlines are starting to warn their pilots because we have pilots that are taking the full spectrum and they're actually showing positive on a drug test. So if you are in an industry that requires drug testing, if you're an athlete, if you're a police officer, if you're a teacher, or if you're a pilot, you want to stay with the isolate. You do not want to take the full spectrum. For my 10-year-old son, I will not give him a full spectrum. I give him the isolate. The other thing is you want to make sure it's organic. Ours is organic, and it's got peppermint. Peppermint is an essential oil that has so many other health benefits to it. Now, one of the things with CBD is you can't overdose on it. Don't get all panicked. Don't get all freaked out. And did you notice that they're called cannabinoids? Cannabinoids are the active components that we found in CBD. And did you know that your body actually was given, God-given, you have cannabinoid receptors in your body. That's how beneficial this is for your body. Your body has receptors for this. Now, the research is happening as we speak. It's pouring in. However, plenty of research has already been done to demonstrate the benefit. Now, what happens if I were to Google CBD and then I go to MD.com or some of the other sites? They're really downplaying the benefits of CBD. If you go to most of the allopathic sites, they're really undercutting. Well, all these reported benefits, we're not sure, they could be made up. Let me tell you guys, right now, the pharmaceutical industry is launching their first 2 CBD medications, and they're for seizures. And this is why there is a push to make CBD illegal. They're trying to make it illegal in certain states. And the reason is, it's money. Why would I buy a prescription medication that may cost $1,000 or $1,500 a month with all the side effects when this form that I'm getting from LifeForce is just as effective? So you're going to start to see this, and you really need to defend your rights. Thank God for the Farm Bill that made it legal. But there really is a lot of stuff happening with the CBD now, and I can tell you that the first gentleman in London just came out, if you read the research. They have a gentleman in London now that actually had significant tumor shrinkage with taking CBD. There's so many benefits to this. Now, when you look at LifeForce's brand, it's 1,000 milligrams, and it basically boils to be about 33.33 milligrams per serving. Now, our price is around $94, $95 per bottle. Now, when you look at that, realize many of the products, like I'm a big shopper. I love going to, in our area, we have Trader Joe's, right? We have Whole Foods, and then we have a local supermarket called New Leaf. New Leaf is like a competition for Whole Foods. And they have several different locations. One of the things I'm always looking at is products. I always go into these wellness sections and I start to look. And I'm seeing in the market right now in New Leaf that they have CBD for the same price that we're selling 1,000 milligrams. Most of their products are in that $80 to $100 range, but they're only delivering 500 to 750 milligrams. So that's the first thing that I look at when I see our formula, right? I see the fact that we've got 25% more in that product. I also know it's LifeForce manufacturing it, so that assures us, again, we all have that 45-day empty bottle guarantee. So it's very well made. It's very competitively priced. Now, what you want to do is you want to take a dropper full under your tongue, and you want to hold it under your tongue for about 30 seconds or so, and that's when the absorption is going to start. And then you could take another serving if need be in a couple of hours, but I always tell people, start off slowly. Start off with a recommended dose once a day and give it about 2 to 3 weeks. One of the things that we're finding, a lot of people are feeling really even keel on it, especially people that have a tendency to being really anxious, that have high levels of anxiety. So the CBD is something that you're going to use under the tongue. Now, we will have, I know the company is working on the full spectrum, and they are working on the topical pain cream. But this one that we have right now is such a great product. I give it to my son, who's 10 years old. He is just built for speed. You have to run him away. He is hard to get to sit down and to settle down. And I tell you, we don't give him the CBD every day, but we do give him to it, and he does do really well on it. So that's to recap. We talked about the body balance. We talked about the Vital Spark. We talked about the CBD oil. Let's talk about the protein, our amino charge. That'll be the last product that we covered tonight. I always like to talk about the core products. To me, the core products are essential for health. The body balance, to me, falls into be a core product. We didn't talk about the Osteo Pro Care and the Flexio Plus. We'll talk about those next week. But those are really important for the health of bone and joints. To me, the Vital Spark is a must. And again, the CBD, to me, is a must. The protein that we have, our B Full, we're going to talk about that tonight. The reason we're going to talk about it is because we now are April 1st, April Fool's Day. Hopefully nobody got April Fool's jokes. But everybody's getting ready for vacation, right? All the kids are on spring break. But now we're getting ready for beach body, right? You want to get your beach body ready. Now, one of the things is when you're trying to lose weight, we know that restricting calories and increasing lean muscle mass are one of the best ways to lose weight and to maintain that weight loss. And that's why it's really important to look at a good quality protein. Most of us prime our bodies for sugar. We eat sugar, we don't eat enough good quality protein. And the B Full protein is actually organic grass-fed, and it's whey protein. Whey, pound for pound, is one of the best sources of protein. When you talk about whey protein actually increases your body's own natural antioxidant system. It actually increases what we call the glutathione peroxidase system. So it's not only beneficial for muscle, beneficial for weight loss, it's also beneficial for your health. Now, ours has no growth hormone in there. It's non-GMO'd, and it is whey protein. Now, the nice thing about it, too, is that we don't have a lot. If you mix it with water, it is not loaded with sugar at all. In fact, I'm going to get the label here. I have my brand here. If you're using it with water, you're having 150 calories, and you're having 1.5 grams of sugar. Remember, our rule of thumb is we try to stay with less than 6 grams. If we see something over 6 grams, we don't use it. And the reason I mention this, there's a lot of shakes out there from a lot of well-known companies that have 8, 10, 12, even more grams of sugar. Remember, sugar is not your friend. Now, with this B Full amino charge, it's a complete meal replacement. If you're trying to lose less than 10 pounds, I would tell you to replace one of your meals with 2 scoops and use it as a shake. You've got all your vitamins, you've got all your minerals in there. It is loaded. You've got your amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. If you're trying to lose more than 10 pounds, then I tell you to start with 2 meals per day. So if you want to do breakfast, do a shake, lunch, do a shake, and then before 6 o'clock at night, eat a healthy dinner, protein and veggies. Trying to lose 10 pounds or more, that's what you want to do. You got to lose less than 10 pounds. Maybe just do a shake for breakfast in the morning and do protein and veggies at lunch, protein and veggies at dinner before 6 o'clock. Now, one of the things about the amino charge is I always tell people the scale is important, right? You don't want to get locked into weighing yourself every day, but you also want to measure your weight. And the reason for this is when we're using the amino charge, one of the things that the amino charge is good for is helping to increase lean muscle mass. And this is important when you're trying to lose weight. One of the best things you can do is take off the fat and increase it with lean muscle. Muscle and fat weigh the same. Muscle takes up less space, though. So when you're doing the amino charge, combine it with healthy eating. And again, it's not a zero-sum game. You need to exercise. Remember, if you're trying to lose less than 10 pounds, 1 shake a day. More than 10 pounds, do 2 shakes a day. I like mixing my fiber in the shake, and then I'll throw some berries in there. Like today I did strawberries. I threw 1 or 2 scoops of my intestinal tone in there this morning, and then I threw berries in there. I had strawberries. It mixes up really well, and that's what I had for breakfast. At lunchtime, I just did my shake. And then tonight, I'm going to go home after this call. I'm going to do protein and veggies. Protein is down on my palm. I go organic, beef, chicken, eggs, fish, and then as many veggies as I want. A lot of you don't know this. When I got out of the service back in 1990, I was 210 pounds. There was a point that I got up to 270 pounds. I was a size 42. And I looked at myself, and I was working out. I was running. I was lifting weights all the time, exercising, but I looked like a beast. And a couple of things. I cut wheat out of my diet, and then I started to do the replacement shake, the Be Full. And what happened was I stopped feeding myself crap. This thing will cut the cravings for the carbohydrate. It'll cut the cravings for the junk food, too. And that was the big difference. I'm not exercising any more than I was. I'm not running any more than I was. I'm not lifting any more than I was. What's changed is my diet. Now, for me, I live a very busy lifestyle. We have a very busy practice. We have a 10-year-old son. I have fallen into the habit. For me, it's very easy. I love doing my shake in the morning. I love doing my shake in the afternoon, and then I eat my healthy dinner. I have maintained this now. It's probably, we're going on 6 years, 7 years. I'm now a size 36, and I probably weigh about 215 to 218 pounds. So using this in conjunction with diet and exercise, I was able to lose over 40 pounds and drop 6 inches off my waist. Now, again, I've been able to maintain this weight for the last 6 years. And for me, it's a thing of convenience. I love doing my shake first thing in the morning, and I love doing the shake here at lunch. And then tonight, have a normal, healthy dinner. And remember, when you're doing this type of program, there are other things you can add, but the shake is such a great place to start with. So one of the things is if you're going to do this, though, remember, I want you to be more concerned with how your clothes fit you. If you want to learn how to take good measurements, start with the belly button. The belly button's your landmark. Get a tape measure and measure yourself at the belly button, and then go 1 inch above the belly button and 1 inch below the belly button. And when you're doing this program, you should measure yourself. I wouldn't get locked into every week. I would measure myself once a month. And again, the scale is important. But remember, what we're doing here is we're increasing lean muscle mass. And we call this your basic metabolic rate. That's going to help you maintain this new healthy, trim lifestyle, this new beach body ready. So that's the Be Full amino charge. We have other products that you can incorporate, like the metabolism booster. You can add your fiber to it. You can add your greens to it. It's such a great way to actually help meet those daily requirements, even if you're not trying to lose weight. I find a lot of people skip breakfast. Skipping meals is not healthy for you. And so I recommend a lot of times they get the Be Full protein shake, and instead of running out the door and skipping the meal, have it as a shake. Use it as your breakfast, use it as your lunch. Some people even use it for their dinner. So that's a recap on the Be Full amino charge shake. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We're going to recap real quick. We talked about the body balance. I love starting people off on the Body Balance. To me, that's a high-impact product. It's baseline nutrition, fills in the gaps every day where everybody's diet falls short. Great for kids, great for grandparents, great for cradle to grave. We talked about the Vital Spark product. We talked about how healthy that is for the heart, how good that is for inflammation, how good that is for energy. Everybody should look at the Vital Spark product. Then we talked about the CBD product. We talked about the benefits. We talked about how to take it, what to expect. And then we talked about the Be Full Amino Charge Shake. And this is the one we talked about. Remember, we have two of them. We have one that's not a meal replacement. The one we talked about tonight is the meal replacement. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to wish everybody a very safe, a very healthy, a very happy week. And I want to remind everybody, good health is inexpensive. Good health is priceless. Good night, everybody.